Hi, my name is Alex Carlucci with GustanShow.com. I want to talk to you about fixed rates versus ARMs. If you can afford a 15-year fixed payment, that's the best way to go because you'll pay off your house really fast and you'll save tons and tons of interest versus a 30-year or a 20-year fixed. I recommend a 30-year fixed for everybody because you never know what tomorrow brings. You're stuck at that higher payment if you do a 15-year, but if you know your job's secure, then I say do the 15-year, but not many people can say that their job's guaranteed forever. So the 30-year fix is safe, but if you make that 15-year payment on a 30-year mortgage, you will get the same result. You just get a little bit higher rate with a 30-year fixed. In the past, 30-year fixed and 15-year fixed had a very large gap. Right now, the gap is very narrow because the yield curve in the Treasury market is flat, meaning the 2-year note's earning 2%. If you if you want to borrow the money to the government, you lend the government money, they'll pay you 2% on a 2-year note, and they'll pay you 2.8% on a 30-year. So that's flat. In years past, it's been more like the 2 years 2% and the 30 years 9%. So the yield curve is flat. That's what a flat yield curve means. So when the yield curve's flat, it makes the 15-year, the 20-year, and the 30-year rates pretty similar. And in the past, when the yield curve's steep, people would opt for ARMs. So we'll talk about ARMs a little bit. Right now, ARMs are not a viable product because they're not saving you much money. I mean, let's say the going rate on a 30 years 4.25. A 10-year ARM might be 4 1/8, and a 3-year ARM might be 4. So it's not worth taking that risk because after 3 years, either if the rates were to shoot up for some reason, you have to refinance that 3-year ARM into a 30-year fixed. Now you have to take the higher rate, or you let that 3-year ARM expire, and now the rate can adjust at 2% per year with a 6% cap. So you could be at 10% in 3 years. If you follow the 3-year ARM 2% per year cap. So don't do the ARMs right now, they're very risky. But in the past, if you see a steep yield curve and you don't qualify at, let's say, a 6% interest rate down the road, because that's what the 30-year fix is going to be, let's say in 10 years, and then the 3-year ARM's at 3%, well, now that's going to give you purchasing power. So that's the reason why you use ARMs. And right now, ARMs are not good. So don't even talk about ARMs with your mortgage brokers right now, but I want you to understand them. So going forward, why would you use an ARM? So using an ARM is for 2 reasons. One, to get that lower rate when the yield curve's steep, or 2, you know you're not going to be in that property very long. You know that for sure, and why not take the lower payment? But be wary of the ARMs adjusting and expiring. Now, right now, it's really bad to do an ARM because with a 3-year and 5-year ARM, they still, let's say the rate's 4%, they're not going to qualify you at 4%. They'll qualify you at 6% because they add 2% to these short-term ARMs because of that because it could expire and you could get raised. So they qualify you at the higher rate. So right now, you actually get a worse qualifying rate than a 30-year fixed on a 3-year ARM. So ARMs are really bad right now, but I want people to understand ARMs and why they shouldn't do it if that's a choice of yours. Now, with our non-QM products, all you can do is an ARM, and I recommend the ARMs on those because you want to get out of that. They're higher rates, they're 8-9% rates. You want to get out of those as soon as you possibly can. So if your foreclosure's a year away from being 3 years old and you want to flip it to an FHA, then why not do a 5-year ARM on a 9% rate, knowing that in 1 year you're going to refinance an FHA, and you should be safe with rates over a 1-year period. They shouldn't be that volatile that it's going to go from 4 to 6. It's very rare in history where I've seen that kind of a move in rates. So that's the story of an ARMs. I hope you like this video. Please share it and go to GustanShow.com and read more of our blogs or call me anytime at 630-915-7550. Thank you.